I've always liked to write. From the very first time that I went to school, I remember at age 4 when I went to school, and the teacher spoke about composition, and I got locked in on that word, composition, as she explained what the word means and how language plays a big part in being able to write something and be coherent about it. And that was a beginning for me, because I still can remember the teacher. She was wearing a black skirt and a white blouse. And that picture is still fresh in my mind. And based on curiosity about what she was saying, as well as what she was wearing and how she presented herself in the classroom. We're talking about many, many years ago, since by now I'm a septuagenarian, and looking back at those fresh memories that still remain that way. So my curiosity has led me to write books, and I've written about 14 by now. And the question is, will I continue writing? But my curiosity has led me to other things, and the fact that the creative aspect of my life relates so intrinsic to the curiosity. Knowing and understanding that it really began with the things I saw around me as a child. I remember the room, as I said before, where I was, and as I said before, about looking into a picture book that says the Holy Bible and looking at those pictures with staircase going up into heaven, and men with gray beards and long robes and all those kind of things. That became a great and important aspect of my development, and that aspect lead me to talk about Christ following, because I've always spent time in church in my growing years until I learned more and more about the Creator. I learned more and more about God, and understand the difference between the Creator and God. I will speak on the fact that my curiosity and creativity has led me to write, and write in a way that speak to what I research and what I study. And one of my last books, which I'll mention, is this book called The Sufficiency. This book called The Sufficiency, and 12 distinctions between the Creator and the God person. And this book seemed to culminate many of other writings that I've done, and the understanding that is presented through study and research and through writing. And the thing about writing is that when you get into the subject matter, the subject matter is taking you someplace that you had not foreseen when you thought about writing that book. The subject matter leads you, and as it leads you, you are discovering as you go along. And for me, I would say that there is a force that guides me. There's a force that leads the way when I come into my quiet space and meditate and focus on the topic, so that what I am curious about at the beginning is not exactly the same thing that I end up with by the end of the book. I may plan the book with certain chapters that I think should come within this topic in the book. I may plan the book that way. But what I find out is that as I get deeper and deeper into the topic, there are certain facts, truths, ideas, and everything that are unfolding in the experience. It's like I'm being taught as I rest my mind on the various elements that surround the topic. And so by the time I get to the end of the book or the outline that I had in mind when I began, the book ends up much larger, much more wise, much more exhaustive than I had in my previous thought. But it all began with that curiosity, and it seems like curiosity leads to creativity, and creativity leads to finding a quiet space to express it. Finding a quiet space to express it. And once you find that quiet space in your meditation, you better watch out, because if you're sincere and fully desiring to hear from the Creator and the sufficiency of creation that is in everything and in all things, you are going to come out with eye-opening truths, an awakening that you had never foreseen and expected, that during that course of time you'll be saying, wow, as new facts, new truths, awakening within your mind, within your heart. And if you're sincere, you know that truth which is unfolding in you is liberating you from the falsehoods that you have learned and lived by most of your life. So I would say, for example, that this book, the last book that I've written, of about 13, well, of course, there's a novel that is a trilogy that came out of a particular, it was based on a particular life experience during the time I was married, that book, Urban Saint. And a number of other books followed after that, that led up to this book, The Sufficiency, 12 Distinction between the Creator and the God person. 12 distinction between the Creator and the God person. And this book is where my knowledge base, my research and knowledge base attainment has taken me to, and to understand about the way, especially our beliefs have framed the lives of humanity, and how we can seek to understand what we have inherited and to set it in a space of reason that we can say, is this true or is this untrue? And then make an educated decision as to how one is worth millions of dollars in knowledge and the other is not worth a cent, because it was there to mislead you. It was there with ulterior motives that are aimed to make a fortune out of you, if possible. And in terms of a systematic deception, a systematic leading to a place that is going nowhere. So with my life, I talk about the fact that I was curious, and in my curiosity and creativity, wonderful things come to my life, and so I am happy to have the liberation, and I'm happy to help others into a space of liberation as well. So when you have a minute or two and you want to find out what I'm talking about, this book, The Sufficiency, 12 Distinctions Between the Creator and the God Person, will make a good read. I had the most difficult task of putting this book together because usually I self-publish, and I publish my books on Amazon, and I was using Word to create this book, to write it, format it, and everything. And every time I get to the end of what I usually do to get the book ready for publishing, I would find that it knocks off my formatting and everything. But I prefer always to have my chapters starting on the right side. This book, however, is not done that way, but it makes a very strong reading and a strong knowledge base for every question you want to ask and answer as to how we get to where we are and why there's a significant difference between the Creator and the God person, or the God persons, because you'll find out from reading the book that there are many, many thousands of gods when we talk about how many gods in, say, the Middle Eastern cultures such as India and other places, whereas there's only the conclusion that makes sense about the Creator and the sufficiency that rules the day. So, wonderful to talk today about this book and how it can be life-changing or give you answers, because at the end of each chapter, there's a question. There are, I think, 9 questions. Yes, 9 questions for discussions. And for this reason, it will open your eyes to new things that you probably never thought of. The book begins with a chapter about belief and shows how belief has been used with ulterior motives for either the good or the bad. So have a great day, and I hope you'll have a great holiday and enjoy life, because it is given to you from the Creator to do just that, to enjoy it. And the only thing that stands in the way of you not embracing life the way it's meant to is the wrong beliefs that you have carried from childhood. Thankfully, with mine, I've learned so much. And so I say goodbye for now. Have a great weekend.